At the end of this course, I would like to have more direction into taking an animal, just because I'm so unfamiliar with what I'm doing, and I want to really be confident in what I'm doing.
Just talk to me briefly about the ethical aspects of what you're learning, and how does that resonate with you?
Yeah. Taking another animal's life, like there's just a lot that goes into that. And I think as long as I'm using as much as I can of the animal to sustain myself and the people I love around me, then I think it's an ethical thing.
There's a bunch of research coming out that we needed more hunters and more people involved with conservation. And that has implications, right? So it has implications for harvesting of animals and how we control wildlife populations. But it also has implications for just our American culture. 11 to 14% of all hunters are female. And I know the research, I've seen the research, what prevents women from hunting. And so I have a particular interest in finding ways for women to overcome those barriers.
I liked that it was wild sustenance and not like hunting 101, you know? Like wild sustenance implies that you're getting like sustenance for your body from the wild. It's not you're going out and you're shooting something to kill it.
So I was a pescatarian from the time I was 7 all the way up through my freshman year of college. That's when I really got exposed to more hunting communities.
I grew up in a hunting family. Hunting, fishing is something we did together. Always had good memories of chili and cornbread at my grandpa and grandma's house up in the Northwoods. And so when I came here, it was almost trying to figure out where that would fit in. My family was 1,000 miles away back in Wisconsin. I was really searching for people to do things with, because I wanted to not only go out hunting, I wanted to feel more connected to a community that would accept me as well.
I transferred to the University of Montana last year, and I came to this conservation ranch in May, actually, for an experiential learning trip through University of Montana. And I was talking to the director of education here, and he told me about this course and hooked me up with Josh Millspaw.
Understand that important role of hunting in society and conservation. That ultimately is the motivation here. I'd like them to have a holistic view of hunting that will evolve over the course of the semester as you've had experiences, you hear others.
I always bow hunted, and I only started rifle hunting when I came out here to Montana. And archery to me is super special, and I feel like it takes a lot of skill and dedication to be able to harvest an animal with a bow.
See something, or hear something, or feel something that's not right, please raise your hand, speak up, get our attention.
Really, we talk about the ethics, and you're allowed to voice opinions. And part of what makes it so different than hunter safety or just talking with friends who already do hunt is that we are all new hunters. It creates a culture where questions aren't ever stupid.
Really focus on the bottom of your breath. Easy squeeze.
Yeah, we've taken a holistic view of this course. We're not just interested in skill training. At UM, in general, we're trying to do two things. We're trying to build skills, but we're also trying to build knowledge. And so our holistic approach is skills and knowledge. And that knowledge is the interesting parts to me. That's where we get into the research about why people hunt, what they're afraid of, what their constraints are, why we want hunting on the landscape for wildlife management, for disease, for population control.
Yeah, for about like 10 years I've been a vegetarian, and I broke it for the first time this past Thanksgiving, doing like a wild game Thanksgiving, because like I wanted to color the picture with a little bit more nuance, and also kind of thinking about my own values and like not wanting to be so black and white, and kind of look to see it like grow through hunting has been something that was super inspiring to me.
That first hillside, that's not the property as well? That is Boone and Crockett. Oh, meander through quite a bit. This is about the time we've seen some big bears on the reservation.
I feel like for a lot of the students it was kind of interesting, like the bear being the first thing that we harvested. Like, I appreciated the course really opening the spectrum across all game species that are available, and that appeals to me because I don't want to play species favorite, and say like the bear, because it has this cultural identity, is more important than a deer. But at the same time, it was a pretty hardcore way to open things up. But it was really eye-opening to me, and like the act of dressing like just kind of feels like high school biology class.
Be careful not to go too much this way.
So cool.
What you want to do if you're not sure you got a great hit on her, on the deer or on whatever you're hunting, is to back out. If you move in too quickly and you just kind of run right in after them, it'll keep pushing them and they'll keep running and they'll go further, and so far you may not be able to find them.
So is her final spot just like somewhere deep in here? Or
Yeah, well,
closer to the river?
Yeah, it's
Or creek?
It's closer to the creek.
Okay.
I definitely came into the conservation field from a very hippy-dippy standpoint, a little bit of a granola cruncher, if you will. But I think now I've kind of gathered a wider appreciation for hunting, and the way that my undergrad school put it was tree huggers and tree cutters all together and all working on the same goal.
We can rally around access to land, access certainly to hunting, access to recreation, access to organic and sustainable food source, access to knowledge about conservation. That opens the door, because access becomes the vehicle, I think, for all of these other things.
I know that when I do eventually harvest an animal, that I'm going to be very emotional about it, and I feel like I'm ready to take that step and jump into the hunting world.
I'm still not sure if I'm going to get out this year, but I know for sure that hunting is going to be in my future, and you know, the seed is planted, so